These are the rules to add muscle while losing body fat, even if you're not new to training. Hey guys, what's going on? This is Coach Paul Ravella from Physique.com. In today's video, I want to address a question that I got in my walking challenge group. If you're not a member, it's free. We're just walking every day and we're discussing it. I started walking an hour a day to start the year. I'll put the link below to the Facebook group if you want to join. But here's the question. Is body recomp possible with a slight deficit, walking 1 hour a day, and not being a newbie to training? So let's break this down into different categories, because I think the idea of body recomp means we're putting on muscle while we're losing body fat. And for the vast majority of the people, this is very easy. It is very easy, and I don't want to underplay how easy, but here are the rules. If you are carrying an excess of body fat, right? If you are 20, 30, 40 pounds overweight, it's going to be quite easy to lose body fat. Likewise, if you're not someone who's been resistance training for a long time or have never resistance trained or done it properly, it is quite easy to add muscle. So if you are in a deficit while training properly for the first time, you are going to completely transform your body. And this is what's happening in our transformation challenge. Look at the winner right here. He lost 42 pounds in 12 weeks and he did not lose muscle, right? This is a complete body recomp over the course of 12 weeks. Now he was taking part in our challenge, which, not for nothing, that's going to be part of the formula. Not necessarily our challenge, but a deadline. And for me, that challenge was doing a bodybuilding show. And for my clients, that challenge is often doing a bodybuilding show. So we're going to talk about what's necessary to have this recomp. Now, the first thing you said was a slight deficit. This is a great term, slight deficit. However, what is required to create a slight deficit? Absolute accountability. You have to be tracking your macros very well. And typically I say for most people, hey, if you want to just lose some body fat, just track your calories and try to hit a protein goal. You cannot do that if you want to get the most out of this, because there are macro ranges that are ideal, protein, carb, and fat, for fat loss, for muscle building, okay? That means that a certain percentage of your calories is going to improve hormone support. A certain amount of your calories going to carbohydrates is going to improve your performance in the gym, support thyroid function, other hormones. A certain portion of your calories going to protein is going to ensure that you are in a nitrogen surplus, meaning you're not losing muscle as you're training, right? There's also such a thing as eating too much protein, too much fat, too much carbs. So it starts to sound complicated, but it's not. It just comes down to paying attention. And the first time this ever happened to me was when I hired my first coach. And I was blown away. I thought, wow, I feel like I'm on steroids, because for the first time in more than a decade, I could see I was getting stronger. I was losing body fat. And I had been lifting weights since I was 15, and it was 30 years old that I hired my first coach. And it was mind blowing, but it was also the first time I was accountable. So for anyone out there who's shaking their head right now, like, no, it's not possible. If you haven't done a natural bodybuilding show and won the overall, you haven't done it. I'm not saying that's what you have to do to win, for this to happen. But if you are saying this is your goal, you're going to have to act like it. You can't say you want to do something that is very challenging to do and then put in minimal effort. Okay, so that's the first rule. Are you tracking your macros? Do you know how much protein, carbs, and fats? And you guys know I have my free calculator. You already know that. That's going to give you these ranges. And then once you follow that for a week, then you can make some adjustments, or email me if you really want to get this done. If you're serious, don't waste my time. I don't coach people that are not checking in and they don't have serious goals. If you're serious, or join our challenge. Okay. Walking 1 hour a day. Cardio was a bad word when I was growing up. I wish I could go back in time and just walk more. Walking has been a complete game changer. Why is walking so valuable? Walking is low intensity, steady state cardio, which preferentially burns fat as fuel, meaning it does not interfere with muscle breakdown and carbohydrate utilization, which means those carbohydrates are still being used for muscle building. If you go into moderate intensity cardio, you're burning carbohydrates for fuel. You're going to be more fatigued. You're going to have more type 1 muscle fiber usage. And I'm not saying don't run. I'm saying if this is your goal, you can't be running or doing more endurance style cardio. Walking gosh, it burns so many calories. It makes you feel better. Digestion improves. Mental clarity improves. You don't believe me? Wake up tomorrow and go for an hour walk. Set your alarm, get up and go for an hour walk. Come back, take a shower. Tell me you don't have the best damn day you've had in a long time. Listen, this is, you know, when you're young and you hear old people say like, oh, I get up early and I train and I feel great. I used to be like, pish posh. Now I'm the old guy saying it. And you don't have to listen, but it's, walking is a complete game changer. There are no negatives to walking. None. The more you can walk, the better. In fact, I don't like bringing calories down. I'd rather people move more as much as possible. And then not being a newbie to training. Let me use myself as an example. I have, in my opinion, recomped in the last 6 months, maybe a year. I went through some major life stuff. If you guys know me personally, you know about some of the stuff I went through. Under eating, not getting enough sleep, stress was high, but I still went to the gym. The gym is a non-negotiable. In fact, it probably helped me with my mental health, but there were times I was under eating, underperforming in the gym. My buddy Ron moved to town. You might have seen him on the channel a couple times. Ron is a bro. He is a bodybuilder. When we go to the gym, we train hard. Training with him has been a game changer. My consistency has been the best it's been in years. My motivation to get in the gym has been the best it's been in years. And I'll tell you guys this now on the channel. I'm going to do a bodybuilding show this year. I haven't locked in a date, though it's getting close. And just that added piece. What I talked about at the beginning of the video was the deadline. What's your deadline? You're saying, I want to add muscle, lose body fat properly. Absolutely, you should be losing body fat slowly. Less than 1% of your body weight per week. That's what research tells us. And that's what, as a natural bodybuilder, that's what I focus on. That takes focus. But the training piece is something that very few people actually learn how to train properly. I've been very blessed to be around some of the best bodybuilders, natural bodybuilders, athletes. I played college baseball. I was around college basketball. I ran with a team. So like, I've been around some amazing athletes, but I've also spent a lot of time with some amazing bodybuilders, not only just the bros like Ron, but people with high educations, people like Dr. Joe Klemczewski, Dr. Lane Norton, Doug Miller, the owner of Core Nutritionals, the supplement company that I represent. Shout out to Core Hard. If you're not familiar with Core Nutritionals, I've been with them for a decade now. But Doug Miller, the greatest natural bodybuilder of all time. That's not really up for debate. And so I've been around these people and I've seen how they train, and it changed me. I got to see how it changed. In fact, when I coached my client Brian to the world championships, he became the natural bodybuilding world champion at WMBF Worlds a couple of years ago. One of the keys was, yes, genetic anomaly. He's fantastic. But we went and trained with Doug Miller, and I saw the switch flip in Brian from there. His training intensity, his training volume, how seriously he took the sport. Because our first season together, he got his pro card, but he got his butt kicked on the pro stage. The next year he came back, he won his pro card again, and then he won the world championships a few weeks later. So he became the best natural bodybuilder in the world that year. And there's a direct correlation there with being around people who excel. Training with the people that are doing the things that you want to do. So yeah, is it possible? Sure. Is it easy? Hell no. Hell no. Is it worth it? Absolutely. All right. Hopefully that answers your question. If you need a consult, if you want to join our challenge, use my links. I appreciate you guys being in this walking challenge group. It's been a pleasure. And I'll be announcing something fun soon. I've chosen a show date. I just got to confirm it.